Hey there, welcome back to Sister Reads Books. Today we got our June 2026 wrap-up. So as you can see, the incense is burning, so we're doing a video. But yeah, so we're gonna start off. We're gonna try something new today. I did a ranking of them from least enjoyed to most enjoyed this month, because this month was a month full of bangers. So, and some duds. So we're gonna go through them. The first two are definitely the duds out of the group. Then from there it gets better. So the first one, you might have seen my reading experience with this book was not great. And that is J.G. Ballard's The Drought. This was, as I said in my review, it was like watching water evaporate, which is literally what happens in the book. Yeah, it was okay, I guess. The next one is His Black Tongue by Mitchell Luthi. As I said with this one, I went into this looking for a combined story experience and got a short story collection of, well, a novella collection and some short stories. And yeah, if it was just the title story in this book, I would have been thrilled with like 300 pages or whatever this was. 350 pages. I would have been excited if it was 350 pages of the title story, because I thought that one was the best. There were some other good stories. I liked about 60% of it. Not a complete dud, but definitely the reading experience was soured because the last two stories definitely sucked. The next one was not horrible. It was a very enjoyable Western that we read for June on the Range, and it was Never Let Them See You Bleed by William W. Johnstone and J.A. Johnstone. And this was just an enjoyable book. Nothing really groundbreaking happening in it. But, that's what you get with the Westerns that you get nowadays. The next three are on audiobook, so I'll pop them up over here. In number 9 is The Yiddish Policeman's Union by Michael Chabron, so I'll flash that up over here. This was a reread, or a re-listen. I read it the first time. The audiobook is much better. It has accents of like the Yiddish accent and the just like really, really good accents in the audio version. But basically it's about if Jerusalem had fallen after 1948 in their War of Independence, and America stepped in and gave some land in Alaska to form a new Israel in Alaska. And it's an interesting story. I really like it. It was a pretty straightforward crime story with some global reaching implications. But no, it was a good story. The next one is Sandstorm by James Rollins. And this one is book number 1 in the Sigma Force novels. This one I've had this on my Audible library forever, and it finally came up in my up next kind of playlist that's been shifting for a couple years now, and it finally came up. And this was a fantastic experience. Basically, there's an accident in a London museum that brings the Sigma Force in with the discovery of a alternate source of power that came from meteorites. And it's kind of Sigma Force going up against a mercenary group that we kind of find out in the beginning that it's our protagonist, Crow, his former partner is leading the mercenary group, which we see that kind of betrayal in like the opening scene. So it's not really spoiling anything. But yeah, this was a fantastic ride. I can't wait for book two, especially since I found a whole bunch of the Sigma Force in that that Lost and Found book haul that I did, I think this month. So I'm excited to kind of get into the Sigma Force novels a little bit deeper because yeah, this was a fantastic ride. The next one from Audible was a reread, and that was Lost Gods by Brahm. And this one was just fantastic. I loved it the first time. I really liked it the second time. Just a fantastic depiction of what purgatory, hell, the underworld in general looks like. And it's probably one of my favorite books that depicts, purgatory and hell. And it just a fantastic story. Brahm has never really let me down yet. And I'm looking forward to reading more from him, which I think will have a surprise appearance from him in August with at least one of his books that I've been sitting on for a while. The next one is The Cabinet of Curiosities by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. This is, if I can get the glare to go away, the book 3 in the Pendergast series. And this one was fantastic. There was a good, not supernatural element to it, but more science fiction kind of element to this one. Definitely one of my favorites that I've read so far, just because of the trials and tribulations that both Pendergast and our new character, Nora Kelly, go through. Yeah, it's just fantastic book. It's more serial killer thriller than the first two, which was exploring that more kind of like monstrous creature route. So yeah, just an all out really good book. I'm really looking forward to number 4, Still Life with Crows, for July. And yeah, so with that being said, the next book, this is not the edition I read it in because I gave that to my daughter who wanted to read it. But the next one is The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. And yeah, this book scared the shit out of me. And that does not happen very often. So yeah, here it is right now in the number 5 slot for the best book of, or coming close to the best books of the month. But honestly, everything from 6 to number 3 were just all out really good books. The last 2 were like top tier, probably breaking the top 10 of this year's reads for me. But yeah, so The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty, just fantastic book. So much better than the movie. The next one is The Source by Brian Lumley. This is book number 3 in the Necroscope. And yeah, this one was fantastic. This is the first book where we go and we see the Vampiri homeworld, and just fantastic writing, fantastic plot. The characters, all of them are there, all of the ones that you want to see. Harry Keogh and his son's story is wrapped up for the moment in a way that's very, very emotional, but also logical in a sense. And it was just one of those books where it hits you and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Because the first 2 books, they were good. They were good books, action packed, amazing plot, world building, fantastic. the vampire fucking lore that's in there is amazing. This book pushes it to that next level where you go into the last two books of like the original five that he published in the series. Um, I mean, then it went on after that to like 18 books total. But the first five is like, setting the scope for the rest of the series. And you can definitely get a feel that like this book is pushing us towards a more amazing climax in the next two, Death Speak and Death Spawn, or the other way around, either or. I don't have the books in here anymore. I put them on the big shelf in my room, uh, on the library style shelves I have in the bedroom. Um, the next one, at number three, was Where the Axe is Buried by Ray Naylor. This is a absolutely fantastic modern day look at the dystopian genre and authoritarianism as a whole. And this book blew me away in ways that only Brave New World, 1984, and like the old school kind of dystopian novels have. Um, this one is on the same track as the next two, where like this one could very well penetrate the top 10 list. It just won't be as high as the two I'm about to mention. Because those ones, one of them, yeah, it just broke me as a person, because it hit me so hard emotionally. And then the next one was just fantastic. But yeah, Where the Axe is Buried is absolutely phenomenal. If you are into the dystopian genre and you're looking for a more contemporary look at it, this is where to go, because yeah, just chef's kiss, beautiful. Ray Naylor's writing is really good. His first book, check that one out too, Mountain in the Sea, fantastic. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if Ray Naylor's came out and said this, but I'm pretty sure that Mountain in the Sea and Where the Axe is Buried happen in the same world, if you will. And if that's the case, then I hope for more from this, because just an absolutely beautiful story. So the last two, we're down to the final two reads. These two, I would say they're tied for first, but they're two completely different genres and stories, so I couldn't really group them together like that. So at number two is Watchers by Dean Koontz, and I'll flash it up on the screen. If y'all saw the review for this one absolutely tugged the heartstrings, gave me a thriller that I just absolutely loved. There was horror elements, there was thriller elements, there was a love story that was palatable. I think in my review I said that it didn't make me gag, and a dog in it that absolutely wrecked my emotional state at a certain point in this book, where I was just tearing up. And like I said, it's hard to get me to do that with a book, but there's some that it just has that ability. And this was the one that, it wrecked my emotional state. And it's just such a beautiful book. This was my first read by Dean Koontz, and now I'm having the problem of I need to buy everything, because that's what we do, or that's what I do here. And I'm not really sure where to go next. So if y'all have read Dean Koontz, so after Watchers, like, what is the next book that I should pick up? Because I'm getting a whole bunch of other suggestions from the interweb that is, like ranking the top 10 books of Dean Koontz and stuff. And I'm at the point where I might just pick one of them. But if y'all have a recommendation, please send it my way, because I want to know, like, what else is not only similar to Watchers, but even if it's more horror-esque or thriller-esque, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to read more Dean Koontz at this point. So please give me the recommendations in the comments below. My number one book of the month, and I'm sure this is not going to surprise any of you that have been here while I've been reviewing this writer's works since I started the channel, and that is Don DeLillo's Mao Tu. This was the most expressive novel about contemporary-ish America that I have read ever. This book blew me away in ways that at this point only Don DeLillo can do. And just the pertinence and the prescience that this guy has in his writings, where he can, reach into future American society and pull problems from it, but write it in 1991 and then still be a thing, is just phenomenal. This guy has the biggest balls of any writer out there to call out American society for what it's lacking and for what it's fucking up on. And the ability to do that with a, devil may care attitude is just absolutely phenomenal to me. And he is quickly becoming one of my favorite writers of all time. So I don't think I've done a top 10 video on my favorite writers of all time, but I think that's coming tomorrow. So we'll see, because top 8. My top 8 writers of all time. Sorry, I don't do top 10 lists. So be on the lookout for that, because I might be recording that one tonight and going into it, because Don DeLillo is on it at this point. I don't know where. He might be number 1. I don't know. We'll see. No spoilers here. But yeah, so all in all, that was 12 books this month. This was a fantastic reading month for me. There was a couple holdovers, but that was because I'm finding out I'm much more of a mood reader than I am a TBR person. My July TBR will probably be the last full TBR that I do. Going forward, I'll probably do a TBR, maybe of like 5 books, but definitely not as many as I've been putting on the TBR, because this month I'm like halfway through Sniper Elite One Way Trip by Scott McEwen and Thomas Kolinar. And then the other one was In the Name of the Worm and Time Out of Joint by Philip K. Dick, which those ones are getting shuffled into later in the year. Scott McEwen's book I am going to finish, but I am going to take a break from it to read the book that I am planning on reading for Independence July, the reading event that I came up with the other day, where we read books that celebrate America and America's history. And for this inaugural Independence July, we will be I will be mostly focusing on the American Revolution. But honestly, if you wanted to participate in Independence July, any novel that celebrates America is open to what can be included. I'm not going to limit it to military thrillers or historical fiction or anything like that. Any novel that celebrates America, America's society, American values, what have you, as long as it's saying something that celebrates the country that we call home, feel free to read it, but just do something that celebrates our country. So with all that being said, and the large tangent that I just went on, thank you for being here. And thank you for another month of watching the videos and commenting and, doing what y'all do, because without y'all, I wouldn't be here. Well, I'd still be making videos, but nobody will watch them. So I appreciate the hell out of you guys watching this and taking time out of your day to watch me ramble and talk shit about books. So thanks. I appreciate it. And as always, until next time, read, because reading is fundamental.